this meeting of the Adams County School Board to order and ask that you stand for our invocation, which I will give, and then our pledge will be led by Ms. Clement. Father God, I thank you for the opportunity to serve the students and the employees of Blades County. I pray that you will be with us in this meeting today, that you will guide us and direct us so that every decision that we make will be in your will for the good of the students in our county, which is our primary focus. I ask you to be with the Guthrie family as they are searching for their mother. And Lord, I know that abductions happen all the time. This one is just right in front of us because of Savannah's notoriety, and but it brings us to an awareness of the kind of things that can happen to families, and we just ask for the safe return of Mrs. Guthrie and all of those who have been affected in some negative way. Lord, again, I ask you to be with us today and bless us, continue to love us, and teach us to love you. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You may be seated. And I don't see anyone. Well, maybe I do need to read this. We have some visitors today, which we're really glad to see some visitors because a lot of times we sit here and it's just us, right? So we do have some meeting guidelines, and I would like to go through those. Any person who desires to appeal any decision made by the school board with respect to any matter considered at the above notice meeting, that is today, will need a record of the proceedings, and such purposes may need to ensure that a verbatim record of the proceedings is made. Such record includes the testimony and evidence upon which an appeal may be based. Prior to the school board voting, the public is at liberty to speak in regards to the particular item on the floor. Comments not pertaining to items on the agenda will be heard under general public comments, and please limit your public comments to 3 minutes. So with that being accomplished, we're going to make a little adjustment with the approval of the rest of the board and the superintendent to our agenda. We want to move general public comment to the beginning of the agenda because we have a special guest with us today who would like to address the board. And I'm going to say that we welcome you, and we're always anxious to hear from our students, and golly gee, you look like you're ready to go preach. Very handsome and well dressed, and we welcome you. So if you'll come up to the podium, we'll be happy to hear what you have to tell us.
So I just want to start by introducing why I'm here today. We have several activities, fundraisers, things going on throughout the district, and we have kids come to us or send us messages to please support my fundraiser. We have a lot of different things. But yesterday, when this gentleman walked into my office and spoke to me and had a clear message on who he is, what he's doing in school, and his fundraiser that he's working on, would I be interested in supporting? He gave me chill bumps and made me remember why I'm at this dais, why I'm at here, who I'm fighting for, and why I'm doing it. And I was just so proud of him. I asked Dr. Barfield if he could please come and introduce himself, tell us about his fundraisers and sports that you're in, as well as your collegiate experience, because everything you told me yesterday it just gave me chills and made me so happy to support our students and the ones that this is really helping.
Good morning, my name is Brenda Southwortham, and I'd like to be talking about athletics, fundraiser, and the experience and opportunities that I get from the collegiate program. To start off, I'd like to talk about athletics. As a runner myself, before running, I used to struggle in school. I have asthma, ADHD, and I'm pre-diabetic. So joining the sport that involves complete focus and endurance means it wasn't an easy task. I always had people to push me and keep me on track. My parents always knew I wanted to be good at sport. But to do so, I have to put effort into school. I used to believe that school was worth it until I learned that an athlete is only as good as a student. This isn't just a phrase. It's a way of showing how much you want to be successful in life. If you can't turn in your work in time and get a good grade, how could you ever achieve the work ethic of an Olympic gold medalist? Being able to conquer asthma, man, I had to run every day, even on the days I didn't feel like it. Believing in myself, because if I didn't, who will? Whenever I found out I was pre-diabetic, I didn't back down and give up. But what running taught me was to prove everyone wrong, even if it's something almost impossible. So I started running twice that month. I used to run and completely stop eating or drinking sugar. I went to the doctor and they told me I'm not diabetic. They said it was a miracle that my blood work showed normal. But I know it wasn't a miracle. It was discipline. Discipline I learned from a sport. Running isn't just a sport. It's a passion. A passion I never want to lose. I run with pride. Every step I take with pride. Every mile I run with confidence. Track and field is something I truly love. Track and field is something I truly love. So finding out that we started off the season with a negative in our account really broke me. I went home and I didn't talk the rest of the day. The next week, my coach gave me fundraisers to raise money because we can't afford transportation or races. Yesterday, I stepped out of my comfort zone. I went all around Moorhaven and tried to raise money. Not for a sport, but to be able to do what I truly love. I don't want a financial burden to be the reason why my junior and senior year is going. But I'm truly thankful for everyone that helped support and raise money for track. Being able to raise some money meant I could go to a few races and transportation. Those few races I'll be looking forward to. I'm not saying this speech to ask for money, but instead, I'm saying this speech to spread awareness of what sports does for student athletes and what we have to do to continue to compete in the sport. I would like to finish the speech off by saying, joining the collegiate program is the best choice I made. It opens up many opportunities. As a student athlete, but also keeping me on track to graduate with an AA and I get 2 years of college for free. Having the program in the high school instead of having to travel anywhere to go to a campus makes it so much more easier. There is no downsides to collegiate, but instead it helps young students become successful in life. Being able to learn how it feels to be a college student, but also, being able to be a college student before you go out to college. I'm truly thankful for you all giving me this opportunity to speak out and say what I need to say. Thank you, and I hope you have a great day.
You have no idea the joy that you have brought to me in my job on this board. Everything that you said to me yesterday, even today, my arms are just so chilled up, smiles are watering. I'm just so proud and thankful that students are able to come up here and stand at a podium and talk to adults without reading. There's adults that cannot give a presentation without reading what they're trying to present. I'm so proud of you. I'm so thankful for you not giving up. And I am just thankful for our coaches that have instilled that positive in you to keep you going, keep you excited. You were excited yesterday to tell me about these things, and this is a thankless job. What we do up here, we do not get praise and worship for what we're doing. And so I want to bring to front the positive of our school district and the product that we are producing. And that's you, and I'm very thankful for our students that are taking pride in our district.
Thank you.
Madam Chairman, absolutely. I want to thank you as well. Your presentation was perfect, and even when you stop to take your breath, that just shows us that you're human, and that just endeared you even more. Like if you're not done like that, I would have thought you were some kind of robot out there. So you did a great job. I have a couple questions for you. First of all, was it track or cross country that you run?
Well, I do cross country and track.
Both. Okay.
For this speech, it was for track and field because we ended up in the negatives for
Okay.
this season.
Right, and you understand why your sport's in the negative, right? Do you?
No, ma'am.
Okay, because you don't get spectators at track
Oh, yes, ma'am.
like you do at football, baseball. So usually your track is one of the sports that's usually in the negative. And your other sports in your booster club, help those sports that don't get a spectator income. I used to help work the track meets, and I fell in love with track. I love it. I did that high jump thing. It was so awesome. But there were never many people there watching, So that's the reason for the negative. Also, you said the collegiate program. I want to ask you, if you had not been in the collegiate program, because that's another program that runs in the negative, right? That we have to look at and we have to try to figure out, is this worth keeping? Because we really can't afford to do it. So my question to you is, if we had not had the collegiate program, I have two questions. Number one, would you have been able to drive to the LaBelle campus on your own?
No, ma'am.
Okay,
At least not until my senior year.
okay. So you wouldn't have been able to start as a junior. Where do you live?
I live in Warren.
Okay. All right, my second question is, if not for the collegiate program, when you graduated high school, would you have automatically signed up to go to college?
So before the collegiate program, I was planning on not even going to college, but when my parents taught me to just go to the collegiate program, so if I don't go to college later, I still have my AA.
Right.
And now I want to stay in college because it just makes sense to get a degree.
We should have had him at our meeting yesterday.
And that's what we like to hear, because you're one that might have been sitting on the fence, but now you're inspired to go on. And it's best to go when you're young. It really is. If anybody that's ever gone back to school when they were older, it's been a greater challenge.
Any other comments from the board before I make mine?
I want to say, when you give, I taught speech class, it's okay to have your words in front of you, even though you don't use them.
Yes, ma'am.
It gives you greater confidence in knowing that it's there. And I sing, and I never get up to sing that I don't have my words, even if I think it's, because if I were to mess up, it's right there and it just makes me feel better. That's something my dad taught me, but just wanted you to know
So
that.
I didn't want to bring a paper because I believe that if I didn't read it off, y'all will understand how important it is to me. Instead of having to read the paper.
Yeah, I wasn't saying read it, I was saying have it available.
Yes, sir.
It could even be in your pocket and
Yes, I have it
you
in
feel,
my pocket.
there you go. Good.
Good job. So Jim Rosine, I'm so proud of you and thank you for coming and presenting yourself so well. I want to make a comment and ask you to confirm what I heard. I know Mrs. Drake referenced not very many spectators and I think I read it online that you have no home track meets this year, is that correct? That's correct, no home. So you don't even have the opportunity to raise money for people buying tickets to get in or concession stand. So I don't know why the decision was made not to have home track meets, but there's no fundraising at the meet if there's no home meet. And like Mrs. Drake, I used to work at the track meet. I was one of the timers for the races, sitting there with that stopwatch and loved watching you kids. Those kids, you were still too little at that point in time. run, I have a passion for track. I wish we had some home meets so I could go watch. So that's all I have to say.
So one of the reasons why we don't have, home meets is because we don't have enough people to help out to like keep the races going. You understand?
Well, I'm gonna comment on that. I don't know who your head coach is right off the top of my head, but there are people like Mrs. Drake and myself. I would gladly go back out there and time races. You just have to get out in the public and ask.
Yes, ma'am.
And usually it was high school teachers that did it.
Yeah, it was, but after I retired, I still went and did it, and my husband went and helped. So I feel like a little hustle on the part of the coaching staff might could get some, but it's too late for this year, so
Yes.
we won't worry about that.
But there's 3 of us right here that are committed to helping.
Yes.
If
Only
you,
4.
4? Okay.
I'll throw her out there.
Well, she's got a
Yeah,
job,
tough job.
but, I'm not saying every single one, but, I'll tell people this, I don't sit at home and do nothing when I'm needed somewhere. So if I don't have something to do, then I will be there. I used to do it as well.
Okay, but I think Dr. Barfield has some comments to make.
Well, you know, I'm very proud of you. I've followed you for a long time. His mother is one of our subs and does a phenomenal job for us, and is an uncle that is a math teacher at our school and is doing a great job. So he comes from a long line of greatness, and so I did not expect anything less when Ms. Clemens called me or texted me. And so first off, I'm gonna start by saying, just restating that I am very proud of you, and I hope that you will continue in the collegiate program and continue to make good grades. I think that it is a commitment on this board's part to make sure that we are able to fund that program, because it's what's best for kids. And yes, it is a lot on us, and I know we've taken some criticism and because of the financial part of it, but that shouldn't even worry you. You need to worry about making good grades and doing what's best for you and for your future. And if you use it to go on to a 4-year college, or to go into the service, or to go home and sit in Moorhaven and work at a job here locally, you know what, you will always be able to have that 2-year degree. So we are proud of you, and I'm blown away. I think sometimes it gets lost in the activity of paying for it and everything, that all the great things that have happened out of that program. So I am very excited that you're here, and that we can hear what it's done for you personally. As far as the track, I think that this board I can say for 6 years, 7 years, or I don't know, for a long time, we have looked at the athletic budget across the county, not just here in Moorhaven, but also out at Westglades. And, you know, with the current status of educational funding in the state of Florida, it's something that many districts are looking at very closely to see the participation rate, to see what it's costing each sport to have that sport. And different counties are addressing it differently. Some counties are cutting programs, different sporting programs if there's not a high interest. Our track team has a very long-standing name of greatness in the state of Florida. And I can remember.
That goes way back.
Way back. I wanna say, Ms. Prolop would probably know this number better than I would, but when Steve Petty, which is probably a name you probably recognize, might not have met him yet, but I wanna say we had 30 or 20-something state qualifiers every year. I mean, so when Moorhaven track shows up, they know there's competition. And I know you brought that as well in your individual sport, or individual, not sport, what's it called? Event. But I want to see the track team continue, and I wanna see you all to be able to compete and to have the items you need. I think it's a great way for our booster club, to also to step up and to help support the athletes. But, you know, I will definitely be talking to Mr. Thomas and kind of find out about the home track meets if it's too late. There's sometimes adults can have conversations that can make things happen, but I really appreciate you coming. And as far as getting up in front of people speaking, it's probably one of the hardest things to do, even as an adult. And as a young man, I can imagine that you're in front of a bunch of people and you're probably, okay, am I saying the right things? But you did a great job and you represented yourself, your school, your family very well. So thank you for coming.
Thank you.
One last thing. So during accreditation, we had someone tell us that you've got to find your challenges in your district and you've got to address them with the positive. What the public always hears is not gonna be the positive. They're always gonna hear and see what is the negative. And we've got to find ways to address that and bring the positive forward. So I'd like to request a picture with you today so that we can share this story if you don't mind. Is that okay with the board?
Absolutely.
Okay, can we go up front?
Boy, like that.
And you look so nice, so I think you would.
Well, it would be a shame not to picture opportunity.
Oh yeah, I gotta get on this side. No, I'm just thinking.
I used to be on the other side.
I'll move to the front, I'm short, but,
You're good, you're fine, really.
okay.
Now, wait a minute until we get all this straight.
And could you kind of put it up higher, please?
Yeah, like, not, you know.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. I'll do one more. Okay.
Wait, hold on a second. Our, Wendy.
Yeah,
You all look amazing.
thank you.
1, 2, 3. Okay.
Is it okay if we take a picture on my phone so I can show my mom?
Let her know you really came.
I'll say Hunter is Tilda.
All right, 1, 2, 3. Perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you. He is also involved in many other CTE programs that we have and an outstanding individual. I'm very proud and thankful that you were able to come and give us your time, but you should probably get back to class in a moment.
It's 9:30, right?
Thank you, we're very proud of you. Yes, thank you.
All right, since we moved, public, comment, to the front of our agenda, we do have one other request for, public comments, so we'll ask, Lindsay to come to the podium now. Do I need to read this? No.
How are y'all doing? Good, good to see y'all. Yeah, that boy did do a good job, I get it, speaking, it's not going for it, and it's still hard to do, especially in this kind of setting. And Mr. Lucky, I did bring notes, because I'll forget. Thank each one of y'all for your time today, and for all the time that y'all devote to our students. I have been advocating for additional funding and support at Westlake School for the last 2 years, and even harder since August of 2025, to shed a positive light on that, Kim. I was doing that because that was an issue that we experienced at home and with my own students and their classmates, so that was the reason why I was doing it, and that school is definitely worth fighting for. I've fought on the school level, the district level, the state and federal level, as you all know, I try to keep you all updated, because it's important to me, it's something I'm constantly seeing students struggle with. And not just the students and not just the teachers there, but I also have a son with an IEP, so I go there and our speech therapist is zoomed into our annual evaluations and we lose Zoom connection. I work on Zoom for my work too. I have connection issues from time to time. We have problems with our cell phones. But our speech therapist constantly has to reconnect or has issues while we're there in those meetings. It's not just my son trying to recollect a story throughout the day. It's something that I've experienced there. Now, I will say the exception was this last evaluation, we didn't lose connection with our zoomed in therapist. I thank all of you school board members for the phone calls, texts, and even some of y'all emailed Dr. Barfield. I appreciate that you replied as well on the string of emails that I've been trying to keep everyone updated on. And I don't know if that's appropriate or not, I just wanted to try to have everything in one space. I'm not mad about anything, it's something that I'm truly passionate about, it's something that we're dealing with for the last 2 years at West Glades. And Dr. Barfield, most importantly, I appreciate that you clarified it isn't your priority for this office or the school administration, because I know you have a lot of things to prioritize. But it is my priority, and so I appreciate that you offered to meet, and then I will advocate for any issues that this county has. I am selfish, and I do specifically ask for West Glades school funding in every meeting that I have with these representatives or senators, but thank you for saying that's not your office's priorities or Ms. Wills's priorities. Kaylee Tuck has made it hers, and I appreciate that. She's made it her priority, and I appreciate that she's communicated that. Again, I want to continue to advocate for anything that you suggest needs to be advocated for on a state or a national level. I do get opportunities to visit with these folks sometimes, and I want our kids to have the best. I came today mostly to listen and understand if this is a school board priority, and if it isn't, I don't want to continue to bother y'all or waste anyone's time. I just want to make sure that everything that my kids are saying is correct, that my kids are held accountable, and that everything is done well. Beth, I know you said, I'm advocating for both of the boys. I do try to get recollection from both of the kids and try to put that in those updates. Everything from the frequent IT issues to Bronk being in the smoky building on Monday. I know you said that was inaccurate, but I confirmed with the teachers and his classmates, and he was in there, and they smelled the smoke, they got out, firefighters told them they weren't allowed back in. I'm sorry if there was a different story told to someone else. I love all of y'all, I do truly love all of y'all, and I thank you for your time.
Madam Chairman,
Yes.
can I make a comment?
Absolutely.
Thank you. Lindsay, I just thank you for coming, we appreciate you very much, and I know you're passionate, I hear you, we all do. Our attorney advises us to not comment when people come and make statements like you made, and so for that reason, we probably aren't gonna comment here, and I honestly don't understand why he tells us that. He's not here today, but I will make some comment, I'll call you later and we'll discuss it, okay? I just want you to not feel ignored, because nobody's gonna comment, because he tells us not to, that could get us in trouble legally, so we try to stay out of trouble.
Okay.
And Lindsay, I called, texted or emailed you last night, it was late, because I didn't get on till like 9:30, but, we can meet and we can discuss all of this. What I think anytime a parent comes forward and they're passionate, there is never a complaint. I don't have an issue with that, I don't think anybody on this board has an issue with that. I think the issue becomes when there's different sides of the story. And I'm not at West Glades every day because I'm the superintendent, and I have to get my stories and my information directly from the school. So when I ask an administrator or I ask teachers for information, that's all I can go on. But I will be glad to meet with you. I will show you where we've been for the past couple of, I'd say a couple of weeks or a week that we've been getting the reports about, and that you brought up the internet. You know, I think the part that you're not understanding, and we can go into that, and I'm not gonna comment, you know, just because of his directive, but is I think there was another part of the story that you didn't know about the visit to Tallahassee. And I would like to directly have that conversation with you, but I will meet with you. I think we need to separate the meetings, as I said in the email. I think that's a separate issue than the Booster Club issue. So I think I'll be glad if you can come here and meet with me about the internet and the smoke when they turned on the heat, or we are replacing those air conditioners. And we can meet here about that, but the Booster Club, if y'all are having a meeting, I'd be glad to come out and address it.
Thank y'all.
Absolutely.
I read all the emails, In fact, I called up on a lot of the emails from the state and everything, because I've been at my father's house, which is not far away. But I just, in order to do something while I'm over there, I'm just read. And I called Beth and asked her if I could be in that meeting for two reasons. That is, students from two districts go to that school, so I represent that. And the other is, I have an incredible pride in that school, because I started it. And then I have some technology, what you call corporate history. I'm proud that we were one of the first schools in the state to have Wi-Fi. People weren't even using the word Wi-Fi yet. You know, and we're like, what's Wi-Fi? Oh, we're starting a school with Wi-Fi. So we were one of the very first schools to open with Wi-Fi in 2004. So anyway, you guys are getting together on the date, and if it happens, I told her don't make it work for me, but if it happens to be when I go, I'm gonna go attend.
Thank you, Lindsay, for taking your time to come and address the issue with us.
And can y'all say if I need to continue to do these updates in the emails to y'all, or just go straight to the representatives with them? If
I think that's what I'd like to talk to you about.
Okay.
I think that we need to settle it in-house before we take it outside. And I think that when I went to Tallahassee to advocate for a $5 million appropriations bill, I was hit with a roadblock because they were told they didn't have internet.
And I think you need to add to that
Yeah.
sentence for Westglades primarily.
Yeah, the $5 million, it's all for Westglades. And then when I got there, it was like, well, why doesn't Westglades have internet? I said, what? I'm like, Westglades has internet. So, I mean, Kaylee Tuck is a huge advocate for us, and so is Senator Grawl. But I think that's part of, I think we're involving her in something that we can take care of ourselves. I think bringing her into it, I don't know.
I thought it was a funding issue, which was what was brought up before, so that's fine. Okay.
We do get state funds for internet service.
And that's what she said, and so did Senator or Representative Franklin's office, suggested that there were funds for it and to continue to let them know, so.
But it's basically for provider
I see what
service,
you're
you know, the servers, the expense of that, not IT help. But what's it called? It's a grant that we,
The what?
the grant that we get,
Hardening grant?
no, for internet service. We get a grant specifically for that, so.
I don't know.
It's E-rate
Technology
funding.
grant.
That's what we thought it was. It's E-rate funding.
E-rate.
E-rate, thank you,
E-rate.
yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, I misunderstood what you were saying. Yes, it is, but it's not a technology issue as much per se as some of the things that you brought up when I'm not getting that from the school. That's not what I'm being reported. So that they do have internet. And that was what I said to Kaylee. I said, we do have internet at Westglades. So, but we can talk about it. I mean,
Okay.
I think that you going and advocating is a great thing. I just think we need to all have the same, it's just like we talked about, you know, Kim, when you went up to Tallahassee and you said, you know, I wanna have the city and the county, what they're fighting for, because I'm up there, you know, it's not like we live an hour from Tallahassee. So when somebody goes up there, here's what's most important to us.
Mhm.
And so I think, you know, if we, you know, if you are volunteering, and that's amazing, and I appreciate that, but I think we need to say, okay, here's what we're going after, because instead of one of them saying, we have no internet at Westglades, I would rather you use your time and your voice to say, listen, Dr. Barfield wrote this appropriations grant for $5 million, we're gonna re-roof and put all new air conditioners in every room at Westglades. We're a $5 million deal. It would take this district forever to be able to afford that. We need roofing at Westglades more. And I didn't mean to say it's not a priority, that the kids don't have technology. It's always a priority that kids have what they need to learn. But they also need a roof that doesn't leak, or, you know, that's important to have good air quality. They need air conditioners. So I didn't mean to say it wasn't a priority. I don't care about it. But there's other things that are definitely take priority over that, is what I should say.
Yep, and I understand that completely, that's why I appreciate that you clarified that there, that it's just not, it's not on y'all's priority list or on your offices, so it's just something that we deal with so frequently at home with the teachers calling, the IT people, it's just a lot. So, and he has to rely on the computer all day, and Ron's fixing to enter those online curriculum years, so it's a priority for us, so I don't wanna aggravate y'all either, because we
I
partner
don't
with
think
so many
aggravates
things.
the word. I don't think aggravates the word. I just think we need to be on the same page,
Yep.
and that's just communication.
Yes, ma'am.
It's not aggravation, that's what we're here for. And if there's any time a conversation needs to be held, I think that, and it was more me than it was the board, because I don't even think, I mean, they knew I was going to Tallahassee to advocate for the $5 million. The appropriations was something that I've taken very personal, because when I came in office in 2020, we had a lot of buildings that needed repair. We've redone our whole infrastructure with the computer, and the millions of dollars we spent, a lot went to Westglades. At the time, we had over a 22% fund balance, and as you know, or may not know, but we do not have that strong of fund balance now. But I invested the money into the students, and that's where it should have been. Who cares if you have, $20 million in the bank, but you have kids that don't have computers?
Right.
Our board was extremely they advocated, they stuck out some hard conversations, and we're still in them. We're still fighting for every penny. But I can promise you, there's not a board member up here or myself that's not gonna do what's best for kids. And I think that's why I do appreciate you being an advocate for Westglades and for this county and for every student. But I think that we just need to put our priorities, our legislative priorities need to be really addressed in the order, because I can tell you that $5 million would have went a far long way. And we pay lobbyists, I mean, we've got all that, but it's, when you make an appointment with your legislative delegation, you don't get the whole 30 minutes, I think you get 15 minutes or whatever. I mean, and they're, like I said, Kaylee and Senator Grawl have been extremely powerful for Glades County. If it wasn't for those two ladies, we would not have gotten the new school. They have been our advocates, they've been our voice in Tallahassee, but I had 15 minutes. I had the lobbyists with me. We were ready to get this $5 million appropriation, and it was huge. And I felt like, and I'm being honest, I know I shouldn't be speaking. I'm sorry, Mr. Gilling's not here.
You're gonna be in big trouble.
I'm on video, but oh well. I felt like I was cut off at the knees. I felt like my conversation went from an appropriation bill that could help Westlake $5 million that will take our district a long time to get if we don't get the appropriations, to talking about that we had no internet. And I said, we have internet. We've had internet. So anyway, but we can talk. I welcome anytime you wanna come and have a meeting with me. I just ask that you go through Carla
Yeah,
because
I
my
included it on the
schedule.
email, did you see that? Yes. I sure appreciate y'all having the conversation.
I don't think that she said that you don't have any internet, I think that it's.
Yeah, Creek's communicated with her about what his problems are, his classmates' problems, and the teachers' problems, and we communicated about the internet issues while we're there for the IEP meeting, so. And past issues, just over the past 2 years, where the teachers had to use hotspots to do the fast test and cell phones to make it happen, but everybody made it happen. It rocked and rolled, and we just had to go through a bunch of computers to make it happen, so. I appreciate y'all.
Dr. Barfield, since you've already started, could you
We
tell her?
got the video, Mr. We can't see.
Could you go ahead and explain to her about the specialists that we had come in and do a complete renovation of all of our servers, all new computers? Remember when we hired the consultant through the consortium? I mean, when was that? What year was that? It's like 4 years?
3 years ago, 4 years ago, it's time goes.
Maybe if she understood that we have spent over $1 million on infrastructure for internet access.
And I think that, when I meet with other superintendents and I discuss, issues in your district, it's always gonna be an issue of internet dropping, or Westglades does have a little bit of a different, situation because of the location of Westglades. I know the county's been working on some things, we've been working on things. But about 3 or 4 years ago, Amber, if you wanna come out, if you wanna add anything, you're more than welcome to. When I realized that teachers didn't have working computers, and this is like 3 or 4 years ago. I wanna say 4 years ago, but, don't quote me on 4 years ago. We had HEC, which is Heartland Educational Consortium, come down, and they, were totally blown away by the lack of computer support that we had. Like, they could not even believe our servers were 20+ years old. Our data, our security for our students, anybody could log in, there was no security, our backup financials, nothing was there, there was no, the hotspots, Amber, are you there?
I am,
Can you wanna add, because I'm not the technology, the infrastructure total, I can tell you this. This is Amber Summerall, she is our technology, person that oversees our district technology, and she is new within, and wasn't here, but knows some of the situation. If you wanna address it, please.
okay, as far as all of our infrastructure goes, just know I've been here 7 months, so I kinda fell knee deep into all this stuff. I do know that, like, as Dr. Barfield has said, that we have spent, millions of dollars as far as trying to update all of our network connections, updating all of our inventory for the schools. We have started, it's not that we've started, but just within the last year or two, we've been able to provide a really strong support as far as like our internet providers go, our switches. We've started developing rapport with all these different companies because at one time Glades County was not one of the most technologically savvy places that there was to be sending your kids.
I'm okay with that too, I'm not advocating for more digital stuff, like I'm good with a piece of paper, just so y'all know.
No, me too, because children definitely learn with paper and pencil. But as far as like what we've done and where we're going, we still have leaps and bounds that we can push forwards, but everything comes in succession. So from where we were even a year ago, even from where we started, where I started, not where we started, 7 months ago, we are so much farther now than we were then. So, any questions? If you have a question, I would probably feel better to answer it directly versus like giving you a broad statement.
I just tried to put updates in there. I don't understand technology enough myself to understand how to help my son, and I just wanted to make sure that all the records were accurate. And so I think the records showed that he had already been issued 3 computers, like that was excessive. And I was like, yeah, but those records aren't right. He's on his 5th computer today that I talked to the school. So I just wanted to make sure, and he's not the only one, and I try to reflect on all the kids that I am getting the information from, they're his friends, and
Right.
anyhow, it's an aggravation for them, and I just try to
absolutely.
advocate for additional funding and make sure that it's continuing to be addressed. And it seems some of the teachers expressed that the lack of the IT
day-to-day
man,
support.
Mr. Azan, yep, and he's not there now, and so,
I try to go, I cannot go all day, but I try to go in about a couple of hours every other day, so much, and we have a work order system, and if I don't see it on the work order system, I can't address it.
Right.
And we prefer that people don't come to us directly, and I know that sounds, that might not sound proper, but if we go through the proper channels, everybody gets helped versus the wait time that could be involved should we have like face-to-face interactions. But you are absolutely correct. The fact that we don't have anybody there all the time is a little detrimental, but not as much as you'd think. As long as we know what the problems are, we can address them. And once again, with me being new, I honestly had no idea. I have no idea where a lot of the stuff was stored that Mr. Azan, like where he kept things in all of his records. So some of that is a little bit hard to be able to fix, but I do try to when I get these, when I get the work orders and stuff in, honestly, I do try to go in order of priority. If it's a student Chromebook and I see it, I do it the day that I do it the day that I see it. If it's not affecting the teachers, day to day, I guess, so to speak, that, if it's ink, if it's stuff like that, but there's only one person that's going in to help. So, yes, having the lack of support there is an issue, but at the same time, it's just, our students don't always treat our equipment with the utmost respect.
I agree with that.
And the second that they get frustrated and go, things get broken, but if we didn't see it happen, you can't prove it. I'm not gonna go to a random child that I've never seen and go, this is your third computer, what are you doing? So,
And we have advertised, the job is advertised.
yes, it is.
So if you know someone looking for a job, we would be glad to interview them because, Amber does go, and so she's out there a couple of hours, and so that's things that she can't be doing, the work orders that hit the district office. And I say district office, she gets some for the, computer wide. But I think just to kind of go off what Crystal said, when we put the commitment, the financial commitment into, it's kind of like one of those things where you buy an old house and you spend $200,000 and you look and you still got an old house. You really can't see what you've done, but you had to replace the plumbing and you can't see. That's kind of what I would relate this to. We spent a lot of money, like millions, but a lot of the things aren't shiny new computers, or it's stuff that we had to fix to work on the network and the things that, like you, I don't know all the details of the technology world, but I do know that there's a box in a closet over there that's worth a lot of money, and if that goes down, this whole district will go down. So I know that we had to replace that, and then there was cables under the ground that our district was once relying on, that we spent money to make sure that wasn't the case, because every Chalanika, it never failed. The Monday after Chalanika, nobody had phone service or nobody had internet service, because the cable was run when they originally, which this is a little history for you, when they originally dug those lines, they put them at the Chalanika grounds. Don't know why, we don't own that property. But that was so, I just think there's we're trying to get to the outside where you can actually see things. Right now, we're still working on that plumbing and those hidden things that you can't see, but it keeps our internet running. And there is not a district in the state of Florida that doesn't have the same problems that I think you're addressing. But I want every kid. I think it's when we're in a world of high stakes testing and they're all done online, that we have computers at work and that we have the technology support that we need. One of the other things we did, Board, if you remember this, we had probably $800,000 worth of programs that weren't even being used by our teachers, so we got rid of them. And so we're doing things to try to, but Rome wasn't built in a day. But my gosh, we're trying, brick by brick, we're trying. But I can't ask for things that I don't have the finances that or the manpower to back up. But
Madam Superintendent?
yes.
You've done a really good job of explaining the whole picture. I just think the biggest thing left is investigating the little things, because that's where the rubber hits the road. And the policy that you set in place where teachers are telling their principal's reporting it, I think will be a big help.
So let me explain what he's saying. So I've asked the principal for a daily update on technology, and it goes to all the board.
And me.
And Amber. So if there's problems and the teachers aren't reporting it, because there's days that no problems. So
Chris
just,
has days without problems as well. Chris has days without problems. It's rare, but and some of it he thinks is not an internet issue. Like he works on something called Quill in somebody's class, and he has to redo those assignments 2-3 times to make them go in. I made him do one at the house the other day to see, we don't have internet, but I have a hotspot on my phone, I brought my computer from work. He had to do it 2 times, I sat with him and did it, it doesn't collect it, I thought, well, maybe it's our internet. I talked to other kids, they said the same thing, no, that happens at school, we have to do this, it's all of our programs, we have to do them over and over again. So,
That would be one thing that would drive me crazy.
Yeah.
I wanna know why that happens, is that a systemic thing? Is it a program thing? Is it a student error? It's one of those 3.
Mhm.
Or combination.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we don't know the answer to that?
And that
But
is
that's
something
what
that
we
has been
need to do.
addressed to us, like, as far as my staff goes either. That is not, and until I saw your email, that is not even anything we were aware of.
yeah, I didn't know either, I mean, when Chris says he's frustrated about things, or Corbin, or other students in Chris's class, then I don't know what Quill
Right.
is, I don't understand, but I watched it myself the other day, because when we went to Tallahassee, he had to make up his work. So, anyhow, I don't know what those issues are, I just, maybe these issues that have happened in this, what did you say, last 2 weeks? Maybe they can be included, I know Tina made an announcement at the school on Monday when we got back from Tallahassee, that all the teachers needed to report, and she made 2 school-wide announcements, that they needed to report to the office, Chris and Mom heard that, so. Hopefully they'll tell that, and maybe these reports, just in the last few days, can be included in that report, for whoever that's for.
Okay, I think it's time to move on.
I do too, I'm sorry, I appreciate y'all so much.
Thank you, Betsy, and thank you, Amber, for your input.
Yes, thank you.
And all of your board members and Dr. Garfield. I think you said all needs to be said about that.
Madam Chairman, I did find in my notes, the date that we had the consortium come in was November 4th, 2022. So at that time, we had a complete overhaul of all of our servers and all,
And actually,
starting then.
for our meeting, I will, and I had already asked for this, not because of our meeting, but because I needed it for something else. I will, have a list of things that we did, so you can just at least see kind of where we've been.
Okay, let's move on. Do we have any other, public comments? No? Okay. So we're gonna go now to item 2.1, approve minutes of the January 22nd, 2026 Glades County School Board regular meeting at 4:30 p.m.
I read it and it looked good to me, so I make a move that we approve.
I'll second.
Motion by Mr. Lucky, second by Ms. Drake. Are there any discussions? All in favor?
I was just hoping Mr. Impressive.
Go ahead, we couldn't hear you, what'd you say?
We want to thank Mr. President for running that meeting.
Thank you.
For doing what?
Oh, that's the date, Lindsay, that was the date, because that was when I was sent out, I answered.
Okay,
So, it was
all right.
January 22nd.
Mrs. Promont, your mic is not close enough to your voice, or your mouth is not close enough.
You,
Me?
your mic is too loud.
Okay.
Hey,
We're supposed to be running a civilized meeting here now. Come on, really?
Does she need the motion, please?
Sure.
Is mine okay?
Yes.
No, hello, can you hear me?
Amber, are we good?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, okay. So we're gonna move on to item 3.1, which is the new elementary / renovations. Mr. Crescent, do you have anything for us?
Absolutely.
All right.
Sure. I just printed these, there was yellow paper that was in the thing, so.
Oh, the whole thing.
Yeah, well, it's longer than usual too. I have some extras if you're interested in.
Which one?
Just keep one. Sure. Okay, first update on the new elementary school. There are still little parts and pieces that we're getting taken care of. The cameras are now up and running. Am I right, Mr. Thomas?
Yeah.
Okay. Cameras are running, swipe access, we're almost there. Those aren't two things that we have to have right now for safety reasons, but they are great to have, so we're moving forward with that. We have a couple fencing things that we're still working on. One is a gate that be specially made that actually goes between the entrance of the school and where the parent pickup area is. It's to close that and make a separation so that there isn't a crossover for people who are coming in from West Avenue and trying to get into the parent pickup or accidentally getting into that area. And there's also a piece that we are doing for the Challenger grounds when we were putting fencing up. We did notice that there were some trees that had grown into, I guess it would be the west end of the Challenger ground. The city or county, I'm not sure, came in. They took the trees out. When they did that, they damaged the fence. It wasn't our fault, but they damaged the fence.
Could you say that one more time? Who damaged the fence?
It was the city or county, whoever came in and did that. It was brought up to me that we damaged the fence, and that we need to fix it. I've got video that says we did not, but we're gonna fix it anyway. And it should be repaired on Friday. I will let you know too that, we did put a gate on the northeast corner of our school property, in the event that, the parking lot of the school wanted to be used for Challenger parking. I know parking is a premium for Challenger. I was asked to put a fence on the opposite side of the Challenger grounds to close that area off. So should the Challenger committee choose, they could actually put a gate on their fence so that there could be an entrance into the Challenger grounds. As of right now, we have a gate, but they chose for us not to put a gate in a fence that they asked us to put up. Just wanted to let you know that. So, that's for the fencing part. That's where we are with the fencing part. Do you understand what I'm saying?
You put up a fence for somebody and they didn't want a gate.
Correct. That's right.
So are there two fences?
Yes,
There's one fence closest to our school
yes,
that has a gate. And
yes.
then there's another fence that runs parallel to that one.
We were asked by someone from the Challenger committee to put a 6-foot fence on the other side of the ditch. The comment we made was to kind of keep the carnies from getting too close to the school. We had said that when we asked for the 50 feet of our property for the new school, that we would maintain the ditch. And so putting the gate in there allows us to get in there and still maintain the ditch. By putting the fence in, we can still maintain the ditch, but now we have no access to get into the ground.
So there's a fence on one side of the ditch and a fence on the other side of the ditch. Gotcha.
I want to clarify that real quick. They just requested that since the fence was torn down to build a school, that there's a fence put back up. They're worried about the trash from the Challenger Festival being blown into, since the fencing at the school is where it easily came by. They're just wanting to mitigate now of the trash issues and then future address the possibility of using the entrance back and forth. The tree thing I don't know about, but I did hear conversations of that.
I would like to, ask that we pull the contract, or that we pull the lease with the Chamber of Commerce that it was written with. I'd like to pull that, and I'd like to review it and maybe go and workshop over it. I have some, questions. So I'm just I'll bring that to the board.
So are we not putting a gate there because they asked us not to?
We have a gate on the school side. We were asked not to put a gate on the other side of the ditch,
On the Challenger
on the town side.
But if you
So the
own
one side
property,
doesn't
if you're
do
a
any
property
good.
owner and you have a lease with someone, there's laws that prevail over that. So I think we need to workshop this, and I'd like to bring it to a board just for discussion.
Madam Chairman, I have a couple of questions. I'll try to do this correctly.
You're the only one.
I noticed that, I noticed that. I have two questions. The cost to repair the damaged fence, do you know what that was?
You know,
Like any ballpark, 5,000?
I don't know the ballpark, no.
Okay.
I can get that.
Okay, if you would
Sure.
give me that later, I'm just curious. Because you're saying we're assuming the responsibility, but you're pretty sure it wasn't our fault, but you just don't want to push the issue. Trying, okay.
We're trying to friendly neighborhood.
I understand. So I think, so if we wanted to open our parking lot at the elementary during Challenger for our employees, let's say we just did it for that, which would alleviate everybody parking in grass over there and
Right.
the ball field back there would be a nice place to park the car, but we're not gonna be able to get in it. We're gonna have to walk all the way around.
Correct.
Okay.
And we were gonna have the gate there. We were asking to have the gate, we wanted to originally put the gate there for several reasons, but one, we felt that it would help the Challenger committee because it would be a great place for people to park, because you never can't find parking at Challenger. We were trying to, be nice about it, that
Well,
was
we already give them this parking.
And I don't know that-
Parking.
correct, and I don't know that that's gonna happen this year because of some other situations, that's why I wanna bring up in the workshop. So that,
Ms. Columbus did have a good point there. I was actually informed too that they have a hard enough time getting someone to work the one gate, and then it'd be difficult for them to have someone the second gate.
And the future negotiations and working was absolutely on the, open, they just, there's limited this year to get the festival volunteers.
I think us not putting the other gate, because one person who belongs to that committee says, we don't have anyone to work it. To me, that's not sufficient. If we're at a time where we can put the gate, you're allowed to keep the gate closed, we will lock the gate. Who knows, 2 years from now, there may be the committee members saying, wouldn't it have been nice if there's a gate there? We have plenty of people volunteering, and we could put somebody there. Wow, I'm so glad we thought of that. It just seems like we're in a place to make a good choice, and we're not making a good choice because somebody said, we just don't want somebody to work that gate. I think we should go ahead and put the second gate.
So it's not our fence.
The second gate.
It is our fence.
The fence is already done without a gate.
We put the fence up
The chain link.
with special facilities.
So I know we said there's 2 fences, but they said there was 1 gate.
Right.
On
You're
this.
right.
So can you get all the way from one side to the other?
No.
Then why aren't we putting the other the gate? Because it's not on ours?
They didn't want us to have it, and we've already put it up without a gate. There would be an expense now to go back in and cut that gate, or put that gate in.
And I was told that the Challenger people, if they would like to do that, they would take care of that.
So if
It
they
seems
decide
like-
later that they want a gate, they'll put a gate in.
And really, I guess the only reason, I started this with fencing. The only reason we brought this discussion up is because I'm sure there will be some questions in about a month from now as to, I thought we were gonna use that parking lot, why aren't we using that parking lot?
I'm thinking safety too, like, if our kids had to get out of our property. Escape route, I don't know. It could be a safety.
Yeah, but those gates are locked, I mean, but yes, so we could, would be in this gate, right, yes.
Okay.
Okay, oh, so, no, I'm not done yet. I didn't talk about the remodel yet, yeah.
Please
talk about-
continue, Mr.
I mean,
President.
if I can stop right now if you'd like me to.
No,
But,
you're all you have to say.
No, the remodel piece is moving forward. We actually have cleared out, I don't know what's the best description of the building. Some call it the 5th and 6th grade building, some call it, the last it was used was for pre-K, K. It's actually the southeast building, on the elementary property. It's pretty much been gutted now. They've taken most of the things out, they're still working on some of it, but, they are in the process next of rerouting some power. Actually today, the power and the water to all those buildings will go off. Like I said, we're gonna try and reroute power so we still have it in the two buildings that we are gonna be working on. The demolition of the old school should start somewhere between February 16th and 23rd. They'll actually come through the front fence, they'll start in the middle of the school, work to the south, and work to the north. We were originally going to start on the 9th, that got moved back because of, they found a little bit of asbestos in some of the flooring and it had to be abated. So once that gets taken care of, then we can go in there with the machines and start taking it down. So what I did is, with the remodel part of it, I kind of showed you a map. This was our original thinking of the offices that would be in the new renovated building. That's changed since then, but you can see the configuration of the offices that we are actually planning on putting in that building.
Where's the front door?
There is no real front door. They'll continue to use doors that are in the building the way they are right now. Those doors actually go into hallways, so there's not really a front door entryway, because it's an office building, so. But you can see that there are several offices. We planned on putting on the far south end of the building a large building for IT storage and also a book room for all our textbooks, a centralized textbook area. The Ritchie building, plans for that, we are going to use really the north end of that currently for storage. We're going to replace the fixtures and redo the bathrooms that are in there. The south part that really looks like a gymnasium that has the stage, we plan on just replacing lights. We're gonna do some painting in there. We're going to just make it look nicer. We plan to use that more for large meetings that we wanna have, so that building will still be there. An option that we have down the line is that we are gonna look at building a metal building on the west side between the Ritchie building and the bus garage for storage, because we're short on storage. It has been decided because of financial fiscal ties or whatever, we are not going to be able to keep the cafeteria. In fact, building a storage building is going to cost much less than redoing the roof on the current cafeteria that we were talking about using for storage.
So the special facilities funding will cover the storage building that you're talking about?
Yeah, that's the piece we're going to. We're piecing it through here to see if the money's there, then we're going to build that building too. Yeah. We've had several pieces and parts to this project. We had the demolition of the bus garage, we had the construction of the bus garage, we've had the new school. We're doing the raising of the old school, we're doing the renovation of the two buildings, and so the next part is gonna be that metal building, replace the storage building that we had at the bus garage. And then, of course, the next things with whatever the board wants to do with the property that we're gonna have there.
The demolition of the elementary school is going to include demolition of the cafeteria.
Correct.
Madam Chairman,
Yes.
I have a couple questions.
Mr.
Mr. Griffith, so does that mean we're still gonna be able to rent out the Ritchie building? We're gonna fix it up, it's gonna look nice, we can still rent it to churches or local people that need the building, that's great. The audit by our contractor, has that been completed yet?
No.
Okay.
I guess good news too, I know Dr. Barfield told you that, she did sell all the, recreation, all the playground equipment. Like I sold it to Henry County
Parks and Rec.
Parks and Rec for $5,500. So that's
They're gonna do.
That's a good thing for them, it's a good thing for us. Not only do we earn $500, but also we don't have to pay to have it taken out. Also, we've sold the portables, so, for $10,000. And, it's, you're actually, I mean, Dr. Barkley, you may want to talk about the sales that we've had. We, you know, when we closed the old school, we had Westglades and we had the high school come in and have them take anything that they thought that they could use. They went out with truckloads of desks and cabinets and supplies, any kinds of supplies that were left there. I know that Mr. Ray was in there taking down the paper towel dispensers yesterday. So we're taking most of the things out of the school. We've had a sale where people have come in that was actually supposed to end on Saturday, but it's continued. We've had several private schools, churches, just individuals that want stuff for hunting camps and stuff like that. They've taken furniture. We've gone in, we've sold most of the whiteboards that were in the classrooms. We've sold cabinets that were actually affixed to the walls. We sold doors. We've taken out emergency lights. We're going to be taking out cameras. We're going to be taking out swipe access that's in there. So a lot of what was in there is now gone. But it's been sold, and you know, which we are glad. We're happy that we make a little money out of it, of course, but we're even more happy that it's going to a place where it can be used instead of going to a money bill.
And we do have Friday at 4 o'clock, we're doing an online sale. It's on our Glades County School District Surplus Sale Facebook page, and it'll be an online auction. We'll have the items, and it's the kitchen shelving, the metal racks. There are no like appliances, but there are like metal racks and there's serving warmers, that sort of thing, that we are gonna be, we will be auctioning those off. And it's at 4 o'clock, final sales are as soon as it auctions. Cash must be presented by the following Monday or it goes to the second bidder. So we're trying to make every bit of money that we can and make sure we're documenting it, and so that we will be able to provide you all with a list of what's sold.
Is there any equipment in the cafeteria that's, was that open?
Well, yes, we sold cafeteria tables, and
What about the kitchen?
that's what she was just talking about. That's gonna be the auction on Friday.
And we do have about 10 tables. How many are left, Dan?
We're talking about the folding tables,
Yes,
actually between 10 and 15, somewhere in that range, yes, ma'am.
so we do have some tables, because I know my phone goes literally 24/7, people asking, you know, do you have any more tables, do you have any more desks? I mean, literally, and we said the last day of the sale was gonna be Saturday, but we had so many people that were still interested in so many of the items. I mean, I hate, even if it's $10, I hate giving up $10 if you could, you know, I know Ms. Pro and I walked through it, and, I mean, every time I walk through it, I feel like I see something that I need, or that, you know, one of the schools needs. I mean, I don't know, all of a sudden I have 72 bookshelves, but, I will say that our district office was able to go over yesterday, and, it's like Christmas, because they were trying to salvage anything they could or they could use, because we try not to spend money over here to buy supplies, because, you know, we want it to go to our schools, but, I think they got some really good deals, so I'll be sending you all your bill later. Or if we'll catch it.
Okay, are we allowed to ask a question or?
Sure.
May I ask, someone even commented to me or asked me about it, why are we selling everything, or y'all selling everything for cash when it's for?
Because we didn't wanna have to deal with bounce checks, and, so,
I just made a comment that it seemed like it would be,
Yeah, I think you give receipts, right? We have receipts for
no,
all
we
the
can't
cash.
make them receipts,
Oh, we're not?
no. Yeah, we took pictures of everybody with their things that they bought.
Documentation.
the amount of people
Yeah.
we had, it was
It's too much.
intense,
Okay.
very intense. Just a question, somebody asked me, and I
We, like,
brought it up.
yeah, like at our aftercare and people have to pay checks, you wouldn't believe, I mean, Ms. Orpha can tell you, we get bounce checks from a lot of bounce checks. And it-
Really?
Oh, yes.
Wow.
And so we didn't wanna have to, and we had some people that, a lot of people from out of town, and we did, they were bringing checks and they took a bunch of items, you know, they say they took $400 worth of things and then they bounced the check and we can't recover those funds. So cash was quick and we always made sure that there was, you know, double people counting and all that, so.
I didn't realize that people even checks anymore.
Well, and honestly, you know, hindsight's 20/20, but, I wish we would have done, you know, our cards. But we didn't have the, you know, card, and and when you're over there, people are going, how much for this, you know, how much for this bottle of sanitizer, you know, you're like, you know, so we tried to be consistent with our prices, and because, you know, gosh forbid that I'd have sold a desk to you for $10, but I charged Mr. Lucky $20, I'd have been, oh, she's gouging, or she, you know, whatever, so it was a lot on us, so we made sure that, like I said, we took pictures of people when I made them stand there with their items, cause I'm like, okay, because I didn't want someone to come back and say, well, I didn't get this, or I didn't, you know, she took $100, but I didn't, you know, so we tried to always, you know, Carl and I, or if Dan took money, Carla counted, and we always made sure that there was a check and balance.
Who bought it?
Continue, Mr. Grayson.
I think that's all I have, any other questions?
I just want to say thank you to Dr. Barfield and Carla and Ryan and Dan and anybody else that was over there making sure that people were allowed to purchase what they wanted and pushing to get rid of as much of that stuff as possible so that it didn't go to a landfill. I just appreciate, I can imagine the amount of work that you could have been doing in your office when you were actually in that building, pushing desks and chairs and bookshelves, and so thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Thank you, Mr. West.
Sure thing.
Okay, the next item on our agenda is, 4.1, presentation of pre-K through 12 education estimates. And this is Dr. Barfield, can you have that for us? All right, I'm gonna say a 5-minute break. We'll continue when
Mr. Grayson,
That's air conditioning.